Hi, everybody. I'm so glad to be here. I'm just looking around at all the faces. You guys all look wide awake and ready to hear. All right, good. This looks like a great book. Who likes to read?
Me.
Awesome. You know what? It's okay if you're not sure yet. It took me a while to really get into reading. I don't know if I was much of a reader when I was your age. And then later, I found out how fun it was to read. How fun, like, just imagining the pictures in my mind of the books that I was reading and what all the different people were going through in the books. And then now I really like to read. So sometimes it takes a while. Sometimes it takes that special book that you find that you really like, that you realize reading is really fun, and then you find more. All right, so this book is called A Nation's Hope, the story of boxing legend Joe Louis.
We chose this book because we just finished a unit on biographies.
Oh, okay. All right.
And we're starting a unit in history, so the kids will be choosing which historical moment or event to study.
Okay.
So it kind of bridges between.
Nice. Nice. So a biography is what? When somebody writes about someone's life?
Yes.
Right. All right. Yankee Stadium, 1938. Packed crowd buzzing and bets bantered back and forth. The Bronx night air, thick with summer. The world waits for Joe Louis to take the ring, take center stage. White men wait, standing beside black men, but standing apart, Jim Crow America. Okay. I'll try to move that around as I talk so everyone gets a chance to see it. All to witness the most important match in boxing history, soft-spoken Joe Louis against the one man who put him on his back. But Joe knows tonight's fight is bigger than any two men. Son of a black sharecropper against Hitler's master race, black and white Americans together against the rule of Nazi hate. The weight of history hangs on Joe's shoulders as he ducks through ropes, body already glazed with warm-up sweat. Will he come through for his country? The German, Max Schmeling, enters second. Both boxers dancing in their corners. Shadowbox jabs caught in the flash of camera. The referee calls the two to center ring, biggest stage ever. He shouts over the crowd, "May the best man win," he shouts. The bell dings and the two men raise fists, come together under a deafening roar. But the crowd didn't always roar for Joe Louis. He didn't speak until he was 6. And when he finally spoke, he stammered and was ridiculed, words spinning just beyond his grasp. And with black skin, he passed through childhood in shadows. Yet there was something about his hands, so big and powerful. Nights he'd stare down at those hands and dream. Joe's mom said it was music, and one morning sent him out with gathered change for a violin lesson. Joe ducked inside a gym instead, spied men twice his age and size, pounding heavy bags and skipping rope. He returned day after day, slowly stepping out from the shadows. First time inside the ring as an amateur, though, his opponent was a blur of fists and footwork. Sent Joe toppling to the canvas 7 times. Didn't start out so well for old Joe, did it? Bruised jaw and bruised ego, but Joe came back. he watched older boxers spar and listened and grew into his body. Does everybody know what bruised ego means? It means he was embarrassed and maybe his feelings were a little hurt that he wasn't doing as well as he really wanted to. The space between ropes became home. The dance of the fight, two men circling, shuffling, a delicate balance, movement based on the other guy's eyes. Back then, blacks didn't win decisions, not against whites. Joe had to let his fists be the referees. In his first professional fight, he knocked a man clear out of the ring. But in victory, Joe didn't raise his gloves and gloat. He helped opponents to their feet and shook their hands. Wow. So does everyone know what that means back then, that blacks didn't win decisions against whites?
No.
So when you're in a boxing match, and I don't know that much about boxing, so this might not be technically exactly right, but the idea is that at the end of the match, if both boxers are still standing, they have judges who decide who won.
Oh, yeah.
And back then, with all that discrimination, they would always give it to the white fighter. So he had to really win outright. And even when he did, he acted so classy, you know? Isn't that cool? More knockouts followed. Each new city, another fallen man. His legend quickly spread across the country. People scrambling for a glance of Joe in a cab or coming from a cafe. He hung in there. He's becoming a celebrity. Black neighborhoods, longing for a hero to call their own, found Joe and danced his every triumph in the streets. Hundreds surrounding Joe and his wife. Down a Harlem sidewalk, Joe smiling, always humble, waving back with those powerful hands. Once a boyhood dream, now a people's hope. But at the height of Joe's fame, Hitler's German caught him with his gloves down, and Joe woke up on his back. Devastated, he covered his face, leaving the ring, shadows once again falling, and the taste of failure. Harlem streets struck silent. Joe healed and vowed to battle back. He worked even harder as the world threatened war around him. Word leaked that the Nazis were filling concentration camps in Europe, just as Joe got another shot at the German. It was now more than just blacks who needed a hero. It was all of America, and color was set aside. They studied World War II. They know who Hitler was and all of that. Okay. So you guys are following this a little bit. Do you know about that guy Hitler in Germany many years ago? How he started a big world war, and he was very prejudiced against a lot of people. Not just black people, but Jewish people and lots of other people too. 70,000 erupt as Joe leaps from his corner at the bell. An entire stadium leaning onto toes and holding its breath. So the story started out at the beginning of this fight and then took you back to hear a little bit about what led up to it, and now we're back at the big night. Ears glued to radio in every home, in every city, the entire world stopping, its fate seemingly all in Joe's hands. No pressure, right? Instead of waiting this time, Joe is first to strike. He jabs and retreats and jabs again, his gloves never dropping an inch. He stings the German with an overhand right, and the crowd goes crazy. But Joe hears nothing. He strikes again, sends the German down. Soon as the German is up, Joe is on him again, a relentless fury of gloves and passion, the weight of the moment lifting, shadows disappearing. The German goes down again and again until his cornerman throws the white towel and the referee waves Joe away. Just like that, it's over. Joe has shocked the world. The entire stadium in pandemonium. White men hugging black men, and black men hugging back. The streets of Harlem once again dancing for their hero, but all of America dancing this time. Pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
When you find good books like this, doesn't it make you want to read more?
And squish. I already.
Everyone was squished in there, I know.
read it super lot.
Do you read a super lot? That's good. You find out about things.
That person, I saw him in here when he was wrestling, and nobody could punch him.
He was just too quick.
Yeah.
And how did he get that good, do you think?
Practice.
Practice, right? Remember in the beginning when he got knocked down and didn't think he was good? Does that ever happen to any of you guys when you first try something? It feels really hard to do, and then you work and work and work and work. A little bit.
Do you guys have any comments about the story? How it was related to the biographies that we learned? Other people that had a similar life story?
I read this book. It was a famous writer. I forgot his name. He also went to Germany.
Jesse Owen?
Yeah, just the other.
Oh, I didn't read that book, but I saw that movie. You know that's a movie now? Yeah. Called Race, right? Isn't that the movie Race?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that was really good. Really good.
Wait, race?
Yeah. Did you see that movie or read that book? Really good. Same kind of story, right? Same kind of, he had to fight discrimination and work super extra hard just to prove himself.
Is it a cartoon?
No, it's a regular live action movie.
Did you guys have any questions? Sharon? For Sharon about her job?
Yeah.
Do you need a certain degree to become a journalist?
So it varies from place to place what they require, but at a minimum, most places require you to have 4 years of college, what's referred to as a bachelor's degree, to work in journalism, and then some people go on to journalism school, so they get a little extra specialized schooling. Yeah.
Is it hard to be a journalist?
Yeah, it's a lot of work. I mean, it's a lot of responsibility and it's a lot of work. You're telling people's stories. You're giving people information that affects their lives. So you want to make sure that you get it right. You want to make sure when you're telling someone's story that you do their life or their story justice. And sometimes that feels like a lot of pressure. You want to get that right. And then in TV, there's the added layer of always being in the public eye, and people are very ready to comment on everything you do and everything you wear and the way you look, and so but I think the rewards outweigh all of that. And then the other thing is, the news is 24/7. It's happening all the time and it has to be reported all the time. So The first year, for example, that I worked in television news, I worked every single holiday. I didn't spend a single holiday with my family. I worked Thanksgiving and I worked Christmas and I worked, because I was the new kid, you know, and that's just the way it is. Yeah.
What's it like to be on the news and stuff?
I love it.
I feel like want to be on TV.
It's fun. Yeah.
Do you get a lot of donuts there?
Do we get a lot of donuts? Yes, we do. Not every day or anything like that, but yeah. People send stuff in, yeah.
Like, is it kind of nervous if you start at the beginning?
Yes. I remember the very first time I was anchoring, and I could feel my heart almost beating out of my chest. I was so nervous. Now it's not. I mean,
When I was little, I was like on stage, I was so nervous.
yeah.
I couldn't even talk.
Yeah, it's scary. Stage fright, right? Yeah, it's scary. Yeah.
Are you on the
Yep. Channel 6 in the mornings. Does anybody watch news in the mornings?
I don't.
So from 5 to 7 in the morning.
I never seen it.
You don't? You need to talk to your parents about making sure that they're watching Channel 6 between 5 and 7 in the morning, okay? Okay, tomorrow.
I don't think my dad would ever watch the for 2 reasons. A, because his TV doesn't make cable, and also because he gets up late, like 7:30.
Oh, okay, all right.
He wouldn't have the time schedule together.
All right, we'll give him a pass. Yeah.
It might be scary if you make a mistake and everybody's watching.
You know what? When I first started, I used to worry about that a lot, and I used to feel really embarrassed if I made a mistake, and I would worry about it. But I came to realize that everybody makes mistakes. When we're having normal conversations, you might stop and think about what you want to say, or you might say a word and then decide you wanted to say it differently and start over again, or stumble a little bit. So now I don't worry about it so much, because I figure everybody makes mistakes. In fact, we make jokes out of it more often than not. Did you have a question, or are you just stretching? Okay. You do? That's a terrible decision. No, I'm teasing you. You can watch whatever news you want in the morning. I think it's important to watch some news and stay informed of what's going on in the world, and there are other channels, and you can watch other channels, but we have the most fun on Channel 6, just so you know. It's up to you. Yeah? Yes, her stepmom, actually. Yeah. How many of you had Miss V?
She was in our room.
Yeah, yeah.
So
She's awesome, right? She's really,
She's a great teacher.
she is a good teacher.
Last year you came in Miss Maine.
Yep, yep,
Wonderful.
yes.
Do you get to visit your parents sometimes?
I do. They live in Vermont, and yeah, I do.
Where are you from?
I'm from Vermont. That's where I grew up. Do you guys know where Vermont is?
Yeah.
It's kind of like Maine's here, and then I got to do it backwards. New Hampshire's down here, and then Vermont's here. Did I do that right?
My brother was gonna apply for some colleges in Vermont.
In Vermont?
I never really.
Yeah.
Do you get fan mail?
We do get fan mail. We get good, happy, nice fan mail, and then we get mean, nasty, critical fan mail. And you know what? Sometimes people will send us critical mail and they're right. Like sometimes I'm actually really glad to hear what they have to say. Sometimes people will point out mistakes that we made, or different ways that we could cover a story, or give us ideas about covering a story, and sometimes they're a little critical of what we do. But I think that's really important, you know, because nobody's perfect, and we don't always know when we've made a mistake or have all the best ideas of how to cover a certain story. So it's good to be open-minded when someone is being critical or giving you some positive or some constructive feedback. And then other times people just write nice things, and then other times people write mean things. Like, I got an email not that long ago from someone who said I looked terrible, and then it looked like I cut my hair with a blindfold on, and that I should stop wearing purple because purple looks terrible on me. So you know what I did? I wore purple every day for a week. Every single day. And the guys even wore purple ties. Yep.
do you apply to be on Channel 6 or?
Yep, so there are different ways that you go about it. Usually in television news, you put together what's known as a resume tape. Do you guys know what a resume is? A resume is like a sheet of paper that kind of says what your qualifications are, what your skills are, what you know how to do that would make you good for the job. But in television news, we have that, and then on top of that, we have a resume tape where we show video examples of our work. So you put that together and then you apply to different stations.
Does Pontina allow people in there Channel 6?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
How do you guys know the weather? The next day?
Oh, that's a whole other conversation. I'm not a weather person, so I don't really know how they do it. They have all these computers and they get all kinds of data and stuff.
They have this big dish and
It gets data and information and stuff, and they have computers that make what are called models of what they think, what the computer models think the weather will do, and then they kind of look at those, and then they look at the information they have, and they put it all together and kind of figure it out.
Do you have a pet?
I have a dog, a cat, and 2 hermit crabs.
I have like 2 dogs and 1 cat.
You do? What's that? What are hermit crabs? They're the crabs that are in the big swirly shells. And they kind of, they walk like this.
The one near the...
Yeah, they can snap you, yeah. But they can get used to you. You can play with them.
Do you have to wake up early?
Mm-hmm. Show of hands, who wants to guess what time I wake up?
Oh, I already know.
You already know. Someone who's not.
3.
Close.
3:30.
Oh, hang on. No, other way. Yeah,
4.
other way.
5.
You guys are going the wrong way. Yeah.
1.
Nope, too far.
Oh, 5.
Nope.
2:30.
Getting warmer, getting warmer, getting warmer. Yes! Yeah,
Oh, so close.
2 o'clock. Yep, because I make lunches for my kids and myself, and I have to take a shower and do my hair and my makeup and all that stuff. Yes.
I have a beta fish,
Mm-hmm.
but I wish I could put more fish in there, but I can't.
Yeah, the beta fish you can't put other fish in, right? They have to be by themselves. Yeah.
What are your kids' names?
So there's my stepkids, Samantha, who you guys know, Samantha Vaznis, and then Jack Vaznis, and then I have 2 daughters named Miranda and Duffy. Yeah?
I have a dog.
You do?
Yeah.
Pets are the best.
I have a dog named Marley, and she woke me up this morning at 4:30, and
That's nothing.
because she always jumps on my bed and gets up. And when she jumped on my bed, I got really scared because I didn't know what it was.
2 more questions, okay?
Okay. Let's have these be questions, okay? So keep your hand up if you have a question. Yeah? April 25th.
My birthday's April 24th.
Very close.
My mom's April 21.
Okay. One more. Is this a question?
Yes.
Okay.
I noticed that you wear a little microphone on
Yeah?
your shirt. What is that for?
I don't know. That guy made me do it. These are the same kind of microphones we use at the station, though, pretty much. Well, it's not. It doesn't make my voice louder in the room, but it picks up the sound of my voice and sends it back to the camera. So that otherwise, the microphone on the camera is so far away, it would probably sound really muffled.
So let's thank Sharon for visiting our class today and sharing our book today as well.
This is I like this book a lot. This is a good book.
It's a great story. So big thank you.
Thank you guys. You were great. Thank you for having me.